Alright, I know what it looks like. Okay, I'm wearing the same shirt as I was in the last video, and I have a new haircut, so clearly I'm filming this on a different day. But it's okay, because I washed the shirt. Yeah, I washed it. It's fine. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Sandbox for part 2 of my episode ranking for Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you missed part 1, you can click the link for it somewhere up there. I don't know where it is. You can check that out before or after this video, but if all you care about is the top half, then this is the video for you. Don't forget to share your list down in the comments below and smash that like button if you enjoy this video. And with that said, let's get started. Starting off today's ranking at number 31 is Season 1, Episode 3, The Southern Air Temple. This is a heartbreaking episode and only the third episode of the show. It shows flashbacks of Aang's time at home before he was frozen, setting up his relationship with his mentor, Monk Gyatso, and forcing him to accept that the Fire Nation did indeed invade and wipe out his people. It's a tough thing to grasp and an even tougher thing to tell someone as it is for Katara and Sokka, but Aang does accept it and tells them that they are his new family, as well as their new flying friend Momo. Meanwhile, Zuko challenges General Zhao to an Agni Kai, further setting up Zuko's character and trajectory, and filling out his backstory with how he got his scar. It's a touching episode that sets up a lot for the show and gets you invested. Coming in at number 30 is Season 1, Episode 15, Bato of the Water Tribe. Many people don't like this episode, but I definitely think it deserves a spot in my top 30. It heavily explores the themes of family and trust, as well as selfishness, which I think is very in tune with this show. Team Avatar run into Bato, who helps Sokka go through the tribe's rite of passage, which is all about trust. However, Aang has been withholding information about the location of their father, and when he comes clean, Sokka and Katara storm off with Bato, leaving Aang alone. Bato then tells them a story of the lone wolf, and Sokka comes to realize that it's not right to leave Aang, especially since they're all the family he's got now. And meanwhile, Zuko hires June to help track down the Avatar, which leads to Sokka and Katara being attacked and Aang coming to their rescue. We get some awesome, memorable action here with Aang versus Zuko, Appa versus Nyla, and Iroh versus June.
No! I didn't see you get hit with the tongue.
In the end, Team Avatar reconcile and Aang recovers Katara's lost necklace, giving us another instance of their beautiful musical theme, which always tugs on my heartstrings. Next up at number 29 is Season 1, Episode 2, The Avatar Returns. The first 3 episodes of this show serve as a 1-hour introduction of sorts, and I think this episode is the one that delivers the most fun and bending-filled action that teases what the show will bring. Sokka grows as a character, learning to trust Aang, while Katara and Aang bond and come closer together as friends, before Zuko invades the Southern Water Tribe and Aang turns himself in to protect them all. This in turn forces Katara and Sokka to leave on their 3-season and 5 graphic novel long arc to help the Avatar fulfill his destiny of defeating the Fire Lord and bringing peace to the world. This episode is fun and does a great job at setting up all of the returning characters and the entire trajectory for the show. Moving on to number 28 is Season 1, Episode 17, The Northern Air Temple. I really enjoy this episode because it touches upon a great recurring theme for the show, which is tradition versus innovation. Of the first 5 graphic novels, 2 of them touch on this theme and further explore it, and it makes a lot of sense in regards to the show. Aang is out of his time and holds his memories and past traditions sacred, but times change and traditions often are forgotten and or adjusted to fit in with modern times. It's a delicate balance, and I love how much respect this episode shows both sides of that argument. Meanwhile, Sokka gets a chance to show off his brain muscles and helps with the creation of the war balloon. But of course, the Fire Nation invades the Northern Air Temple, and when Team Avatar and co. strike back using this new contraption, the technology falls into the hands of the enemy. This episode plays a big part in the overall story and portrays great character development while also tackling an important debate. But taking the number 27 spot is Season 2, Episode 1, The Avatar State. Following the events of the Season 1 finale, Team Avatar considers a shortcut to taking down the Fire Lord by utilizing Aang's Avatar State. They explore how to possibly tap into the state at will, but Aang learns he can only access it when he or someone he loves is in immediate danger. Roku also informs him that if he were to die while in the Avatar state, the Avatar would never be reborn. Meanwhile, Azula is introduced as the terrifying psycho villain that she is, and is tasked with bringing in Zuko and Iroh. Luckily, Iroh senses the danger and helps them escape, forcing Zuko to come to terms with the fact that nobody wants him except his uncle. He then abandons his current identity, symbolized by him chopping off his ponytail, and if I'm being honest, I don't miss it. Next up at number 26 is Season 1, Episode 8, Winter Solstice Part 2, Avatar Roku. This is the first of many two-part episodes, and this one is highly important, setting up the looming threat and overarching plot for the show, that being that Aang has to defeat the Fire Lord before Sozin's comet returns at the end of the summer. This episode is filled with big stakes and a sense of urgency, and sets up the fact that Aang only has a few months to master all 4 elements. But coming in at number 25 is Season 3, Episode 13, The Firebending Masters. This is a fantastic episode that completes a part of Zuko's journey with replacing his hatred and anger-fueled firebending with one that is backed by a passionate heart and a more complete understanding of what fire really is. The episode's plot is very simple, but it achieves a ton of character growth, including characters who never even show up on screen.
Iroh was the last outsider to face the Masters. They deemed him worthy and passed the secret on to him as well.
Next up at number 24 is Season 3, Episode 8, The Puppet Master. This is easily the darkest episode of the show, highlighting Katara's character and introducing a new type of waterbending, bloodbending. The bloodbender Hama tries to coerce Katara into adopting this form of bending to seek revenge on the Fire Nation, who Katara has a personal grudge against for taking her mother. Of course, Katara triumphs in the end after having her character challenged, delivering an awesome waterbending battle with huge stakes and big surprises. Moving on to number 23 is Season 3, Episode 12, The Western Air Temple. After suffering a demoralizing defeat at the Day of Black Sun invasion, Team Avatar retreats to the Western Air Temple to regroup and strategize on what to do next. Meanwhile, Zuko builds up the nerves to confront them and asks to join their team after he battled his father and vowed to help Aang defeat him. But things don't go so great for Zuko, with nobody being able to trust him except maybe Toph, who Zuko then accidentally burns when caught off guard. However, he helps them take down the assassin that he sent after them and apologizes, showing that he's learned that honor isn't something you're given, it's something you earn by doing what's right. He believes his destiny is to help the Avatar restore balance and understands that firebending is dangerous and he needs to be more careful. This sways Aang and leads to his realization that Zuko is indeed meant to be his teacher. This is such an arc-heavy episode, with Zuko coming into the spotlight and completing one journey while starting the next. It's got drama with suspicious Katara and awkward Zuko, great action with Combustion Man, and some feel-good moments to break the tension.
All right, buddy. Don't fail me now. Yeah, boomerang!
But taking the number 22 spot is Season 2, Episode 20, The Crossroads of Destiny. While this isn't my favorite of all the season finales, this is a damn strong one, and it makes the bold choice to end on a cliffhanger, having Team Avatar lose the battle for Ba Sing Se. There are so many threads that are wrapped up and begun with this episode that it is quite an incredible feat to not trip up anywhere. Zuko makes the wrong decision to side with Azula and backstab his uncle. Aang decides to let go of Katara so that he can enter the Avatar state at will, and Azula uses that against him and strikes him in the back with a bolt of lightning. Azula proves to be quite the menacing villain. She's already made a name for herself, but in this very episode, she takes control of the Dai Li combatants, claims the throne for Ba Sing Se in the name of the Fire Nation, and seemingly kills the Avatar, at least to the outside world's knowledge. This finale certainly packs a punch, bringing Season 2's story threads to a close and setting up Season 3 spectacularly. Moving on to number 21 is Season 3, Episode 10, Day of Black Sun Part 1, The Invasion. The Day of Black Sun invasion is a great step for the story, providing that last glimpse of hope and having it blow up in their face. And this begins with Part 1, which has awesome action sequences and allows each character a moment to shine during the invasion. And its cliffhanger ending only raises the stakes, with Aang realizing that the entire town has been evacuated and that the Fire Lord is gone. Most Part 1 episodes in this show struggle because at the end of the day, they're just setting up the big action scene and the payout in Part 2, but this one brings a lot to the table, with old characters returning and main characters progressing in their arcs, especially Zuko, who finally makes the right decision as he leaves his family and writes a letter to Mai, apologizing for what he knows he must do. I love this episode a lot, and the fact that it didn't make my top 20 kills me, but my top 20 are the top 20. And so, kicking off the top 20, I have Season 2, Episode 19, The Guru. This one was a tough episode to place compared to the Season 2 finale, which kind of serves as a part 2 to this one. But at the end of the day, I prefer this one just a tiny bit more. We see Aang struggle to unlock his final chakra due to his love for Katara. We see Azula's plan in motion as she continues to infiltrate the Earth Kingdom government. And we also see Katara and Zuko start to reconcile over their shared loss of their mother due to the Fire Nation. It's an emotional roller coaster that sets up almost everything that follows, including the newest form of bending, metal bending. Coming in at number 19 is Season 3, Episode 14, The Boiling Rock, Part 1. The first of many side missions with Zuko, this one follows Sokka and Zuko as they infiltrate their way into the Boiling Rock prison in hopes of finding Sokka's dad, Hakoda, and breaking him out. There are definitely some twists and turns, such as Zuko being arrested as an imposter, the warden being Mei's uncle, and Sokka finding Suki within the prison. It ends with them planning their escape, but then putting it off when they hear new prisoners are being delivered and finding that Hakoda is indeed one of them. Similarly to Day of Black Sun Part 1, this one sets up Part 2 fantastically, but still stands strong on its own. I wouldn't be surprised if some people even preferred this one to the second. It's got a more interesting plot than most episodes, does incredible world building, and has some of the show's funnier moments. But taking the number 18 spot ahead of it is Season 1, Episode 13, The Blue Spirit. This is a fan favorite episode, and not just for Season 1, as it is well equipped with big stakes and twists, compelling action, and some awesome foreshadowing. The episode revolves around Aang trying to find a cure for Katara and Sokka's illness while they rest up with Appa and Momo. Sokka and Momo definitely bring some levity to this episode with hilarious moments, but the crux of this episode's awesomeness is Aang being captured by some of the best archers I've ever seen and getting help from an unlikely ally, the Blue Spirit, aka Zuko. The action here is amongst the best that Season 1 offers, and the ending shows Aang saving Zuko to return the favor and asking if they ever could have been friends. It's the first instance of Zuko actually helping Aang, even though it was for the most selfish of reasons, making this episode satisfying and memorable. Moving on to number 17 is Season 1, Episode 10, Jet. I struggled trying to decide between the Blue Spirit and Jet, but Jet is just such a strong episode thematically, while also heavily indulging itself with world building and fight sequences. I love how it explores the themes of moral grayness and posing that question of where the line is between right and wrong, especially during times of war. The character arcs portrayed within this episode also serve as good reminders to our characters of who they want to be and how they wish to accomplish their goals. Again, I love seeing points of view regarding the Fire Nation from people outside of Team Avatar and how the war has affected them personally, and this episode certainly delivers, bringing in new recurring characters with the Freedom Fighters, especially Jet. It's a solid episode filled with action and romance, great themes, and great lessons. Coming in at the halfway point for this video at number 16 is Season 2, Episode 12, The Serpent's Pass. This was a big episode that often goes beneath the radar for most people, but it does almost everything that people love about this show. Suki returns and helps Team Avatar, though Sokka worries the whole episode about her and wants her out of danger, despite her ability to fend for herself better than most. Jet seeks a second chance in Ba Sing Se, and he teams up with Zuko to help the refugees aboard the ferry. Even Cabbage's guy makes an appearance this episode.
Security! Oh, my cabbages!
But the big arc for this one is Aang finding hope again after the recent loss of Appa. The ending is quite the tearjerker for those who are invested in this show and its characters, and the episode doesn't lack in humor or action either.
Oh, Sokka, you saved me. Mwah. Actually, it's me. Oh, well, you can go ahead and let me drown now.
Next up at number 15 is Season 3, Episode 15, The Boiling Rock Part 2. Building off of Part 1, this one focuses on Sokka, Zuko, Suki, and Hakoda trying to escape the unescapable prison, which is only made harder when Azula shows up with Mai and Ty Lee. Equipped with a bit more action and a more focused character arc, this time that being for Mai, this part has a bit more excitement and emotion than the first, putting it a few notches above. There are certainly some memorable moments to this episode, like when the prisoner starts the riot.
Hey! Riot!
And Mai saving Zuko, resulting in Azula lashing out and Ty Lee saving Mai. In the end, Hakoda and Suki are reunited with Team Avatar, and Mai and Ty Lee are sentenced to rot in prison by Azula. Moving on to number 14 is Season 3, Episode 19, Sozin's Comment Part 2, The Old Masters. Following the events of the Phoenix King, Team Avatar struggles to find Aang and instead goes to Ba Sing Se, where they find Iroh and the Order of the White Lotus, which includes many familiar faces from the show's journey. Zuko apologizes to Iroh, claiming to be a changed man who has refound his way, and Iroh welcomes him back with open arms.
I am so sorry and ashamed of what I did. I don't know how I can ever make it up to you, but
It's an incredibly emotional moment that makes Zuko's journey well worth the ups and downs and sets up his final confrontation with Azula very well. Meanwhile, Aang reaches out to the past avatars in search of guidance on what he must do regarding killing Ozai. This episode ends with him realizing he has been riding a lion turtle the whole time. He greets the lion turtle, who in turn shows Aang some hidden wisdom and tells him to stay where he has brought him and wait. While low in action, this episode delivers one of the most heartfelt moments with Zuko and Iroh reconciling after Zuko's recent betrayal, and it sets up the final two episodes fantastically with a ready and willing Aang waiting to confront Ozai once and for all. But taking the number 13 spot is Season 2, Episode 10, The Library. The hidden gem in the middle of Season 2, this one kicks off two major story threads with the Day of Black Sun invasion and Appa's lost days. Beginning with the gang taking turns with mini vacations, they run into an explorer who is seeking the lost Knowledge Spirit's library. They help him find it, where Sokka searches for information on how to defeat the Fire Nation, a completely taboo idea due to the Knowledge Spirit's disdain for humankind's obsession with war. And in the end, we get one of the most intense climaxes, with Team Avatar narrowly escaping thanks to the help of Toph, who just barely keeps the library from sinking long enough. Of course, her saving them means she couldn't save Appa as well from a band of sandbenders. This is a big episode filled with high stakes and big payouts, setting up future events while still having the show's charm on full display. But coming in at number 12 is Season 2, Episode 7, Zuko Alone. This is one of the most focused and serious episodes that the show has to offer, following Zuko as he makes his way on his own, trying to figure out who he wants to be. We get to see glimpses into his past regarding Azula and his mother as he helps an Earth Kingdom family who are being badgered by some soldiers. In the end, Zuko reveals that he is a firebender, and despite having done nothing but help this family and their town, he is immediately outcast after defending all of them from the corrupt and callous soldiers. He finally gets to see how people truly see the Fire Nation, which turns out to be very important later on when Zuko finally turns good, while also showing us how Ozai came into power and that Zuko's mom was taken from him. This is a strong episode that serves as a deep dive into Zuko's character, his past, his present, and his options for his future. Next up at number 11 is Season 2, Episode 16, Appa's Lost Days. This is the most serious episode within the show, and it is the hardest to watch, serving as a powerful entry that won the show's only Genesis Award for its portrayal of animal abuse in media. It makes you cry, it makes you smile, and it only makes you love Appa and those who helped him on his way even more. Kicking off my top 10 is Season 2, Episode 6, The Blind Bandit. Definitely a fan favorite episode. This one is as important to the show's story as it is fun to watch, introducing Toph Beifong and setting up many future story threads such as Master Yu and Xinfu's pursuit of Toph, Aang learning earthbending, and the many hilarious blind jokes to follow.
I'll take the belt back.
Taking the number 9 spot is Season 2, Episode 3, Return to Omashu. After making their way through the Cave of Two Lovers, Team Avatar returns to Omashu to find that it has been taken under Fire Nation control. They are able to make their way into the city, and after accidentally kidnapping Tom Tom, they strike a deal with Mei's father to trade for King Bumi. That is until Azula shows up, seeking help from Mei and Ty Lee, and battling the Avatar for the first of many times, after refusing to trade King Bumi away. I love Azula's face the first time she sees Aang airbend, and the following battle that ensues is just so awesome, each character having their own moment to shine, especially Ty Lee with her chi blocking abilities. In the end, this episode serves as an awesome chapter in the story, ending with King Bumi refusing to escape and imparting some knowledge on Aang on what to look for in an earthbending teacher. Coming in at number 8 is Season 2, Episode 17, Lake Laogai. With many mysteries for Season 2 coming to a close and story threads beginning to climax, this episode serves as a big entry for the season, ending with the sweetest of reunions as Aang finally finds Appa. We learn in this episode what Lake Laogai really is as this secret location for brainwashing citizens and government operatives. Zuko, desperate to reclaim his identity, is forced to decide who he wants to be when Iroh follows him to Appa's underground cell, resulting in Zuko freeing Appa and then abandoning the Blue Spirit mask, which in a way frees himself as well. And finally, Aang goes against a brainwashed Jet when he tries to confront Long Feng, freeing Jet from his imaginary prison but allowing Feng to get away, setting up the final 3 episodes for this season. It's a strong episode that never slows its pace while still allowing each story thread time to breathe. Next up at number 7 is Season 3, Episode 11, Day of Black Sun Part 2, The Eclipse. Following the cliffhanger ending of Part 1, Toph leads Aang and Sokka to an underground hiding hole in an attempt to face off against the Fire Lord, but instead they are led to Azula, who merely tries to waste their time during the eclipse. Their attempts prove futile, forcing them to retreat in the end, taking Katara and the young militants to the Western Air Temple as the older men surrender to the Fire Nation. Meanwhile, Zuko finds his way to Ozai's hiding place and confronts him, telling him off and vowing to help the Avatar fulfill his destiny by defeating him and restoring balance to the world. Ozai deems him a full-on traitor and strikes with lightning, but Zuko redirects it and leaves in the dust. This is the kind of episode that Atla fans look forward to, delivering on awesome action, big twists, and meaningful character moments. Moving on to number 6 is Season 3, Episode 16, The Southern Raiders. Forced to leave the Western Air Temple when Azula ambushes them, Katara's bitter feelings towards Zuko come out, hating him for the fact that he backstabbed her after she was the first one to trust him, and also for the fact that he is Fire Nation and they took her mother. Obviously unable to change where he came from, he sets out to help her locate the Southern Raiders, who he believes are the people that took her mom. Aang warns her against seeking revenge as it solves nothing in the end, but she still sets out, and when she does find the man behind her mother's death, she bloodbends him before realizing she isn't the monster that he is. It's one of the most powerful episodes thematically speaking, showing us the darkest sides of Katara, but also resulting in her finally forgiving Zuko and seeing him as part of the team.
I'll never forgive him. But I am ready to forgive you.
Kicking off my top 5 is Season 2, Episode 9, Bitter Work. As I mentioned in my season's ranking, this is probably my personal favorite episode. Watching Aang struggle to earthbend as it goes against his philosophy as an airbender is as tragic as it is hilarious. Toph's pettiness and snarkiness is on full display here, showing that she is quite the opposite from Katara when it comes to teaching. However, it does prove in the end to be just what he needs as he saves Sokka from a fierce, saber-toothed mouse lion, and all poor Sokka wanted was a little meat. Meanwhile, Iroh teaches Zuko about the balance within the world and between the four elements, showing him how waterbending techniques can be used within firebending to redirect lightning. Zuko, desperate for the chance to prove himself, searches out a storm for the chance to practice this new technique.
You've always thrown everything you could at me. Well, I can take it, and now I can give it back!
It's a powerful ending for a powerful episode that builds upon the lore of elemental bending and provides our characters with moments of growth. But coming in at number 4 is Season 3, Episode 6, The Avatar and the Fire Lord. One of the best standalone episodes, this one provides backstory and exposition for the connection between Aang and Zuko via the connection between Avatar Roku and Fire Lord Sozin. It's an engaging episode that ties up many loose ends and fills in some gaps, showing how the 100-Year War started and revealing that Zuko is the bridge between the Avatar and the Fire Lords. In his note, Iroh tells him that his destiny is to cleanse the sins of his family and the Fire Nation and to help restore balance to the world. Zuko is left with this knowledge and the hairpin of the Fire Lord Prince, and Aang is left inspired, reminded that anyone is capable of good and or evil. Before I share my top 3, don't forget to share your list in the comments below and hit that like button if you are enjoying this type of content. And if you are a die-hard Avatar fan, definitely be on the lookout for my graphic novel ranking in the coming months. Taking my number 3 spot is Season 1, Episode 20, The Siege of the North, Part 2. Bringing the many threads of Season 1 to a close, this episode serves as a reminder of all the great potential this show had before going into Seasons 2 and 3. Aang meets the spirit Ko, the face stealer. Zuko almost kills himself trying to steal Aang's body and reclaim his honor. Sokka loses someone he loves as Yue sacrifices herself so that they don't lose the moon, the source of waterbending. General Zhao lets himself die rather than join hands with Zuko, who he deems a traitor. Aang enters the Avatar state and shows off the true power of the Avatar. And Pakku dubs Katara a waterbending master as well as Aang's new teacher. This episode fires on all cylinders, bringing the first season to a fantastic close and setting up the next one with Fire Lord Ozai calling in Princess Azula. But my runner-up is Season 3, Episode 20, Sozin's Comment Part 3, Into the Inferno, with my number 1 being the big finale, Episode 21, Avatar Aang. I know some people have their gripes with the show's finale, but I just think it's such a perfect blend of action and story, staying true to its characters and delivering an intense, action-packed final battle between our hero and the big bad. These episodes are the pure essence of epicness, allowing each character their moment to shine and wrapping up every story thread and character arc in the best of ways. I could go on and on and on about these episodes, but whatever I say will never do them justice, so just go rewatch them and relive those awesome moments. And with that, my 61 episode ranking comes to a close, but I want to hear what you have to say, so let me know down in the comments below. What are your favorite episodes? Who are your favorite characters? Who do you think is the most interesting Avatar? What are your favorite moments? I want to hear it all, and I'm sure that the rest of the community wants to hear it as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys at my Avatar graphic novel ranking. Until then, stay safe and have a good one, y'all.